Yes, so the view you've just seen was from the Sky Bridge here at the Newark Liberty International Airport Station. I will not be spending much time here. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting on a train south. I am not going to be reviewing a Hess truck in this video. Rather, we will be looking at some trains today. And as for where we're going to be looking at these trains, well, there's no better place to do it in New Jersey than Princeton Junction, so that's where we're headed. Won't be spending too much longer here.
Train number 190 to Penn Station, New York, is operating 1 hour 15 minutes late.
We have an inbound Northeast Regional making a stop here at the airport. Obviously headed to New York City. And the Moynihan train hall. The Northeast Regional won't be looking like this for too much longer. An ACS 64 engine at the front with AM fleets trailing. The plan is this, as for now. And while plans involving rail projects in the US rarely are on time, all the Northeast Regionals and all the Amtrak trains that run along the Northeast Corridor, with the exception of the Acela Express, will be replaced by brand new Aero train sets, which will consist of ALC 42 locomotives and Venture cars, all of which manufactured by Siemens Mobility. Just to quickly touch on these Aero train sets more, this is what they're going to look like in Amtrak's nice new paint scheme. They will run along the Northeast Corridor and many other lines that Amtrak provides. They're expected to start testing on the NEC in 2025 and enter service in 2026, beginning with the Cascades line, which has its own paint scheme, which looks very nice, as you can see here. And on that note, here we are at Princeton Junction. Morning traffic. The shortest paid passenger rail service in the United States. I am not making this up. More Amtrak. Thanks to some upgraded infrastructure around here on the Northeast Corridor, trains are able to hit their top speeds around here. not very common that trains are able to hit their top speeds on the Northeast Corridor, or anywhere in the United States for that matter. As the northbound Northeast Corridor line to New York. This is an express train. It's approaching the station. And here is that aforementioned northbound Northeast Corridor train with a Comet 5 cab car at the lead, and older Comets throughout the train. Some of the older cars in New Jersey Transit's fleet, there are no formal plans that I am aware of to phase these cars out, in spite of the fact that new Gen 3 multi-level cars from Bombardier are on the way, with testing on them expected to begin late this year, maybe lingering into 2025. We'll see how that all transpires. Now, an ALP 46 is at the rear of this train. That is the engine that is pushing this train. Now, the reason I bring this up is because this is another question to be had about NJ Transit's fleet and its plans for the future. And what I'm referring to with that question is the future need for the ALP 46, or lack thereof. The new multi-level cars coming from Bombardier are going to be electric multiple units, meaning that they will be able to power themselves, making use of power cars with pantographs, meaning that they will not need to operate with an engine, assuming that they are running on electrically powered tracks. Now that you're up to speed on Amtrak and NJ Transit's plans for their fleets in the coming years, let's take a look at some more trains. Here's a southbound Northeast Corridor train to Trenton. Multi-level cars being pushed by an ALP 46 on this train. Now, while the ALP 46 may seem obsolete in the coming years, as for right now, it is still the dominant electric engine used by NJ Transit. Here comes the Keystone. Metroliner cab car at the front. Very old cars. Those will be the first to go when the Aero trains enter into service here on the Northeast Corridor. A lot of commuters this morning. We got another northbound express train. One behind another. Here comes another Keystone. Zooming along the Northeast Corridor, right through Princeton Junction. America's fastest train, the Acela Express, will be passing on the other side of this NJ Transit train. A Northeast Regional, northbound, to the final destination of Boston. It will be making a stop here at Princeton Junction on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Not quite as many people getting on this train as the previous New Jersey Transit trains. Nevertheless, we've got people showing up with their suitcases. They are ready to go on Amtrak's highest grossing line in existence. Yeah, those brakes don't exactly sound new, do they? Now, they have these Amfleet cars, the passenger cars. They design them to kind of look almost like an airplane, which I kind of see with sort of the shape of the windows. Obviously, plane windows aren't going to be as wide, but the rounded corners, you know, the similar sort of proportions, angles and whatnot. I kind of see what they were getting at there, because these cars were designed at a time when air travel was really starting to take off, no pun intended. But these cars won't be around for much longer, so appreciate them while you still can. That's why I'm here. And the Northeast Regional departs Princeton Junction and will continue northbound along the Northeast Corridor. It's kind of weird to see such a modern engine pulling such old cars. And it's even crazier to think that both of those pieces of equipment will be discontinued by Amtrak. I find it all very fascinating. This is the ALP-45A engine that I was referring to, New Jersey Transit's newest locomotive, with those cool LED lights. Now, interestingly, those LED lights over the camera, they kind of look like they're flashing, but that's not the case. They are solid in person. They are consistent, not flashing. Just a fault of the camera. Northeast Regional 112. And get this, an Amtrak train ahead of schedule. This train is 6 minutes early. Who knew, right? Who knew it was possible? Doesn't look like it's moving very fast, though. Is it making a stop here? I mean, there was no announcement that there would be a stop. Not very many people at the station either. ACS 64 engines at either end of train 112. And again, with these LED lights, they are solid in person, but they appear flashing over the camera. ACS 64, number 664 at the lead of Amtrak train 112, Northeast Regional, northbound. ACS 64 both at the front and the rear of the train. These modern engines were manufactured by Siemens. ACS standing for Amtrak City Sprinter 64, signifying 6,400 horsepower. It's interesting, such new engines, about a decade old, which isn't a very long lifespan for an engine, and yet a replacement plan for them is already in place. I have every reason to believe that Amtrak will sell off these engines rather than scrap them, because they have a lot of useful life left. NJ Transit maybe want to consider these? Nah, I'm just saying. As someone who uses NJ Transit, might be nice. Got another Amtrak train barreling through here as we wait for 112's next move. There goes the Keystone. And now America's fastest train will be on display here. For how much longer will it be America's fastest train? We'll see. Anyways, Acela Express. Provide it with the right infrastructure and the Acela can fly. Love those sounds. The Am fleets pass by. You have the cafe car with the Northeast Regional logo on it. Very nice. ACS 64, number 633, bringing up the rear. Another Northeast Regional passing through. while we have a moment, here's the dinghy. Taking a little break over here on the side. As I mentioned before, the shortest revenue passenger train service in the entire country of the United States of America. A service provided by 2 Arrow 3 cars. The Arrows are New Jersey Transit's oldest electric trains in their entire fleet, dating back to the 70s. They are set to be phased out by the new Gen 3 Bombardier multi-level cars that I have mentioned before. I am very excited to see the new trains enter service, so appreciating these oldies while we still can. Both the people and the trains, they just keep coming. Another northbound Northeast Corridor New Jersey Transit train. Multi-level cab car at the lead, ALP 46 at the rear. It'd be cool to see a heritage unit today, maybe the Pennsylvania Railroad unit, or maybe engine 4640 with the retro New Jersey Transit livery. Supposed to mimic the ALP 44 paint job, which I personally love that they did. I think that's very cool. So we shall see what today brings. It's still pretty early. Heading north towards St. Albans as its final destination, we have the Vermonter. These things can move. Recently upgraded track will help with that. The Acela Express, southbound. Keystone 646 is inbound. It'll be making a stop here at Princeton Junction. ACS 64 number 657 is at the lead. Comes the Northeast Regional headed for Norfolk, Virginia. And the Keystone continues on towards New York. It'll be making a stop at Newark Penn Station before ending its service in the Big Apple. Coming northbound is the Acela Express again. As the dinghy gets ready for another go around of Princeton University, here comes the Pennsylvanian. Throwing in a baggage car at the end. That train is going all the way to Pittsburgh. A brilliant thing NJ Transit or Amtrak, whoever's in charge, has done is give these stations some nice upgrades. This nice display here telling you the trains and the status of them. And spoilers, the dinghy is not actually called the dinghy. Its actual name is the Princeton Shuttle. The dinghy is just an affectionate nickname. At the end of this train is not your typical ALP 46. It's not an ALP 46 at all. It is a newer dual power locomotive, ALP 45A, built by Alstom, company responsible for the Acela as well. Coming from Richmond is another Northeast Regional. And another one southbound. Well, bon voyage. That one's going down to Miami. That's the Silver Star. Here comes an Acela. That there is the definition of the word express. Couple diesels. They go up and down the corridor doing some maintenance. Equipment moves, whatnot. As we saw the Silver Star making its way south towards Miami, its sister service, so to speak, the Silver Meteor, heads north from Miami, albeit nearly 2 hours behind schedule. Another Am fleet at the end. That is an odd configuration. Amtrak trains coming through one after one. We've got Northeast Regional 182 northbound towards New York Penn, originating in Washington, of course.